Y'all ready to get busy? Y'all ready to get active? They got some micro bands, huh? You know I love all types of disinfectants. I love it. Me and disinfectants, we go together. We look forward to celebrating with Mayor Collect, Karen Bass, and you. We gonna spray it down. You understand me? So don't fuck around. You know we get dinged every time we play music. Yeah. Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just damn it. Let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on because it takes two to tango, and I need to hit his side of the story. So she's driving me insane. Wipe this motherfucker down. He already wiped it down, didn't he?
You know what? Let me know below. Would you entertain a situationship? Just be honest. There's no judgment here. Let's keep it real. Would you entertain it? Now, I know you already heard the title. 5 reasons why you should not. All right? But again, I want to reiterate the fact that I understand why so many are doing it. It is very easy to think this is going to be a harmless situation and that it's not a big deal. Why can't we have someone there in the meantime while we're either working on ourselves or we're waiting for that the one to come, our soulmate? And so I know all the reasons why people do it, but I know all the reasons why it fails. All the reasons why it causes so many issues and so many problems. So I simply want you to be aware of those reasons. Now, you're a grown adult, and by the end of this video, I want you to hear the whole thing, and you're gonna make your own decision about what you are willing to do and entertain. But I want you to be aware of the reasons why you should not. So, before we get to it, check out my book, He's Lying Sis. Now, yes, the video is for men and women, and right now I'm promoting a woman's book. Don't get me wrong, there are books for men at my store, StefanSpeakShop.com, but you can click the link, the first link in the description and in the comment section to get your copy of He's Lying Sis. Women are loving it. It's helping women everywhere. Don't miss it. Anyways, let's get to number 1. So first reason why you should not entertain a situationship. You will develop an unhealthy attachment. Or to be fair, let's say you can develop, and it's very likely you're gonna develop an unhealthy attachment. Here's the reality. Some of the marriages that we're seeing right now started as situationships. Some of the co-parenting situations we see right now started off as situationships. Some of the people who thought this was going to be a harmless situation end up being heartbroken, damaged, and all kinds of other issues that we will talk about more in this video. And it all started with a situationship. The reality is, when we are emotionally or physically invested...
That's the good brother Steven Speaks. And listen, I don't hate on nobody. I give everybody their love and their props. Because I believe that there are multiple right answers. I don't believe that there's just one right answer. I believe that there are multiple wrong answers. So, part of what the brother is saying is true. Here's the thing where we get caught up. Some of the stuff is semantics. See, this is what I believe. Like, they got this whole breakdown that Gen Z are the ones who are in complicated relationships, situationships, or situationships, right? That's what they're saying. The Gen Z, you know, they're kind of cool with the relationship gray area, and Gen Z, you know, are not committing, and they, you know, they don't want romance and all of this and that. Okay. Let's make it clear, because what happens is they make it seem like marriage is great. And I'm not saying there aren't any great marriages out there. I know some people who are in some wonderful unions. But the reality of it is all relationships are situationships. Why? Because everybody's a work in progress, which means I'm coming to the relationship with my situation. And typically relationships are about agreements. Are you agreeing to accept me as I am with my stuff? My stuff equals the situation I'm bringing to this person. So every relationship is a situationship. It's not just Gen Z. Yes, Gen Z are moving away from traditional models. But here we go. Traditional relationships versus Gen Z situationships. Is old-fashioned love played out? I got so many questions. Because a lot of people don't know when you do the research. Well, I'll come into that when I come forward. The phone lines are open. The number to dial is 1-800-920-1580. Call me. Let's have a real discussion. Yeah. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk. Come on, everybody. Welcome. Hit that like button. DeMarco Holloway. What up, brother? What up, brother? I got your email. Holla at me. DeMarco Holloway. He started off the Twos and Fuse movement. Let's go.
Get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual.
Share the video. People should get in here. I want to get the brother Steven Speaks on here.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40
People
years.
get together for convenience. Call me, 1-800-920-1580. 1-800-920-1580. Let's go. 1-800-920-1580. People get together for convenience.
We provide low-cost and
Wow.
effective ways to promote your business without reasonable and affordable advertising rates.
That's
You can
heavy.
Participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website.
Truemonger, DeMarco Holloway, Bernard Parks Jr. What up? From the VA, AKA in the building. What up? B Mims in the building. What up? Deanna in the building. Where are my cousins? All my cousins. Let's get shout out. What up, Freddie Fred? My brother's in the building. Brother Fred. Steeler Lee is in the building.
I have done hair.
BKS Too Real in the building. He Who Thinks in the building. Fred Dorsey in the building. Mimi Davis in the building. What up? What up?
Staying up to date with your vaccines and boosters. Visit myturn.ca.gov to find one near you. Brought to you by the
Vanetta Colbert in the building.
KBLA Talk 1580, putting the spotlight on culture and community. The Rodney King Foundation works in the community to promote
Salute.
relations.
Everybody in here, what up, what up?
Justice. The foundation provides advocacy, education,
January,
and the powerful
we're back on set for the Situationships. We're looking to shoot 6 episodes of my new talk show, The Situationships. Yo, what up, Lindell? If you want to come, you better get it together now. We're trying to get cracking the first week of January. 6 more episodes of The Situationships.
Please visit rodneyking.org or call 626-541-2907. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Voice of Reason back in the building. I've come full circle after coming forward. Tonight's topic is a doozy. Traditional relationships versus quote-unquote Gen Z situationships. What are the old-fashioned relationship rules that we should keep, that should stay? Is old-fashioned love playing out? The new generation, not as up on commitment and romance as the old school lovers are. I've got questions. What are some old school relationship beliefs? And are they becoming an endangered species? What are Generation Z relationships like? Seems like the Generation Z group loves the gray area. That's one thing I never understood about grown folk. How your relationship supposed to be black and white and life is gray? Seems like Generation Z got it right. Life is gray. Life is ambiguous. The Generation Xers and beyond, baby boomers, all of them, y'all know that old saying, you want to make God laugh? Show him your plans. You want to make God fall out of his chair and roll on the floor in tears? Tell him about how your relationship gonna work. No, a lot of people don't want to hear that. What is the gray zone in relationships? And why do so many people fear this grayness, this indeterminance? Why is that? 1-800-920-1580. Why do we shy away from discussing the gray areas in our relationships? See, let me tell you something. Maybe you guys will disagree with me, but the old school way has its pros and has its cons. Yes, the pro is what? We together. We gonna work it out. We gonna stay together. The cons, as long as I'm doing my gender roles responsibility, I don't have to do no self-work. Uh-oh. A lot of people think this way. Some banal, but a lot of people think this way. At least I was together with Matt, but y'all were toxic. And you raised children in a toxic environment. Right? Yes, a lot of pros with the old school way and a lot of cons. But I also believe that there are some cons in the situationship for the new Gen Zs too. Let's talk about it. Agree or disagree? You've all seen and experienced the true face of the world we're living in. The truth is, we try to exist in a brutal, insensitive society that only, and this is terrible, that only takes without giving anything in return. For the most part, that's how we interact in relationships. I'm here for something. This sick society takes and doesn't really give in return. Then we hope we find somebody who will give us the love that we've been in search of. Can modern day men and women use old school relationship values to build healthy relationships today? Sustainable relationships. We got the old versus the new today. Traditional relationships versus Gen Z situationships. Now, I hear a lot of brothers saying, sisters claim they want a traditional man, but when they get one, they don't really like that. The traditional man is, let me handle it, I got it, take it, get over there. Sisters, I'm independent, hold on. 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone lines. I want to hear your thoughts. What are the roles of a traditional husband? Right? What are the roles of a traditional wife? Can we get into this? Protector, provider, leader. Follow my lead based on my gender, not based on the wars I've won within my spirit. 1-800-920-1580. Sean from Oakland is in the building. Talk to me.
Hey, brother, wow. Of course, you're Zoda, the voice of reason. Another perfect topic. And I think everyone needs to listen to this because I'm old, just to put that right out there. Yes, there are some traditions and some things from us old folks that we can pass on that will make a wonderful relationship. One of them is being polite. So that's number one. Be polite. Okay, and be polite to everyone. Unless someone disrespects you and is being ridiculous, okay, we all know we can hold our own against that. But be polite, be respectful. If it's just a traditional, if it's girl, boy, 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 girl, girl, I personally am at this point in my life, I don't care. I don't care who loves one another. If you love one another, boom, treat each other with respect and be polite. Okay, but I also understand this new thing with the Gen Z, which is it. Well, I don't know if I understand it all the way, but it's very interesting, which is they're trying to calculate with all this data, because, you know, I'm an old school baseball guy where data only matters so much until you get to the playoffs and the World Series. But I'll tell you what, it does matter, but it doesn't matter at the end of the whole thing. But, you know, they're trying to maybe calculate who they can be with in the long run. And they're trying to calculate this. Well, don't waste too much time doing that. And that's my opinion, because the science is all over the board. But I'm saying, you know, when you find someone, you really want to be with them and all of that, you know, you're going to have to work out all kinds of things in this world of life, which, number one, Zoe, you know this. The one thing you can predict in life is that it's unpredictable.
100.
You're going to have to be resilient.
Yes.
And you're going to have to work through all this stuff. and be together. And if you can do that, teamwork makes the dream work. That's a cliche, but it's so true. But if you can do that, it's awesome. So I love the young kids coming up. I just think that, yes, us older guys can give some of that politeness and respect, and if you want to call it decorum, whatever it is, you know, and then work through it. But this thing where it's black and white, like the woman should be doing this and the man should be doing this, forget about it, people. Let's move on. That stuff is in the past. Let's make sure that we work together as a team and make everything productive going forward as a family.
Man, I appreciate you, Sean. Oakland, California is in the building because of you. You already know you got a seat at the table. Call me anytime.
Thanks, brother. Love you.
Yes, sir. Love you too, good brother. Listen, if you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. That's 1-800-920-1580. Call me right now because we're having a really good conversation. There have been some shifts that indicate a loosening of traditional attitudes and norms. On the whole, young adults desire traditional relationship form, namely monogamous live-in partnership, and value qualities consistent with them, namely fidelity and longevity. In fact, young adults value monogamy and faithfulness more than ever. So they like bits and pieces of the traditional model. But are they going to cook? Huh? Who going to cook? 1-800-920-1580. Fred, San Fernando Valley, get in here.
Hey, man, how you doing? All right, just Fred, okay. So, in my lifetime, we went from you dated your high school sweetheart, then you moved on to your college sweetheart, then you went to your worldwide sweetheart, because it was a person out there in the world that, you know, you connected with. Well, in my day, we used to shack up first, because I need to find out who you was as a person.
Shack up?
Share your story.
Okay.
Yeah, you shack up. I mean, that's what we used to do back in the 70s.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
She moved in, you know, she lived in the dorm, but she had a few clothes at your house. You know, you moved off campus, and she would come through. And then she would open up the pork and beans and the weenie beanies and so forth. You know, we weren't rich like that back in the day. We didn't have no microwaves and stuff. So the woman would go ahead and cook because there was no instant gratification. We didn't have microwavable food. So somebody had to cook. Okay? And she knew how to be a little bit more handy in the kitchen than the man. The man would let her go ahead and do that task, and he would do everything else, you know? If she needed an oil change, he would do that for free. I mean, it was a barter system. You do this for me, I do this for you. We do this together.
Right.
Then it went to a more open market, you know, supply and demand. You know what I mean? So the man would supply what the woman demanded. Okay? And vice versa. Then we got to outsourcing. Outsourcing was a side chick.
Uh-oh.
We had too many options. Yeah, exactly. You see what I'm saying? We outsourced just like the government. The government made by people. So the people took the same trends. Started outsourcing, right?
Right.
Okay. Then you came with friends with benefits, right? Yeah, you know. You had to supply that Social Security number to the broad. You know, you had to get to know her.
Oh, Lord, Fred. Don't call the women broads. Don't do that.
Okay, what floozies? Okay, the floozies.
Oh, it gets even worse. Come on, Fred.
Guys, check this out. One woman gonna let a nigga.
Fred.
Fred. At 4 o'clock in the morning, he's halfway drunk. He don't even live with you. But he has the nerve enough to come and call you at 4 o'clock in the morning and share a bed with you. Come on now. But when he finished laying up with you, he rolls out, use your shower to go home to his woman. Okay, so when the women start opening up, you know, their little bread and breakfasts or whatever you want to call it, you know, dude just slide in, and you know the price of, you know, womanhood went down. Don't undermine your own stock.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying?
Wow, that's heavy.
You started coming up with drive-through. Dudes can't do drive-through.
So are you saying a woman's sexual independence drove her stock down? Is that what you're saying?
Well, understand is you put too many jelly beans on the market, the price of jelly beans is going to go down.
All right, Fred.
People going to get sick of jelly beans. People going to get sick of jelly beans. They're going to move on to something else.
All right, Fred. Hey.
The black man did. I mean, just one more thing.
Just one more thing.
From black women to white women because we were tired of the same old product. Keep it real.
All right, Fred, we appreciate the call. Thank you, brother. You know I don't like to judge folk when they say they spill. But thank you, Fred. Let me listen. One way to turn the intellect off is to have a unidirectional blame game, circle jerking kind of conversation. Now, okay, you want to talk about women's lib and feminism and all of that kind of stuff. And yes, some of the models of relationships have changed. But you also got to look at men too. I like balanced conversation. How men show up or not show up in relationship also affects the way we connect, especially moving forward into this new world. When we talk about a traditional relationship, let me give you a definition so we don't go off on tangents. Okay, a traditional relationship. Here it is. Traditional relationships are defined as relationships in which partners fulfill roles based upon their gender and stereotypical role expectations. That is your definition for traditional relationships. Let me say it again. Traditional relationships are defined as relationships in which partners fulfill roles based upon their gender and stereotypical role expectation. Now, I'm going to say what I said about 10 seconds ago. Don't you know that this is one of the easiest forms of relationship to hide in? Because all you have to do is fulfill your gender's role in that relationship. Self-work is not a part of this. This is why I said Gen Z may have something when they embrace what is known as the gray area. When we come forward, I'm going to break that down a little further. We got Raleigh, North Carolina. We got Las Vegas. We just had Fred from the San Fernando Valley with the potty mouth. When we come forward, more on the VOR.
He's on fire tonight. It's the voice of Reason with Zoe Williams exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
Fred.
I'm Mike Island.
Pull it in, Fred. You got to contain it a little bit.
Network. Airports across the U.S. are jammed today. Officials warn this year's Thanksgiving travel season will be the third largest for travel
I love Fred,
in the last 20 years. The White House is extending the student loan repayment pause. President Biden.
Mimi, what you want me to do? Cuss him out? What you want me to do, Mimi? I acknowledged my thought on it. What you want me to do?
Is pushing the pause to June 30th instead of the start of the new year. Donations to a charitable fund
it's your fault, though. You let
shooting in Colorado Springs have topped $204,000.
I let him talk like I let everybody talk.
Fund has set aside a portion of its website to take donations.
No, Fred, it's not cracking the ice.
As well as the survivors.
It took us way to hell, Fred.
24/7 news source, the Black Information Network.
Little Freddie Tinkles has no filter.
Don't let a traffic accident ruin your day. Call 1-800-INFO-FIX to find the nearest fix.
What you want me to do? I ain't gonna cuss Fred out on the air. And we gotta remember, this is not podcast.
Tell your insurance agent
Freddy Krueger.
Fix Auto.
Y'all be acting goody two shoes. They go Fred. But Fred, you can't cuss. You cuss on the air. Calling women hoes. Can't do that. Can't do that. This is AM radio, Fred. Don't act like you so old you don't remember AM and FM radio. Come on, Fred. I think you're a smart guy. You got to use some level of decorum.
Celebrities, business owners, and other notables. KBLA Talk 1580 will host Mayor-elect Bass on the main stage as we reflect on the importance of this moment and what it means for the Black
I see you.
women,
I'm going to let you talk on it.
who believe in the limitless potential of our amazing
And here's another thing, ladies.
Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 and our social media
Cancel little Freddie
all the
Teagle.
important details. We look
Here's another
forward to
thing.
celebrating
You
with
guys can
Mayor-elect
also
Karen
call
Bass
in
and you.
and voice your displeasure for what Fred said.
When you're the victim of a car accident,
Non-judgmental space. Everybody gets to say what they want to say, whether I agree with it or disagree with it. But ladies, you could also call in and say, no, Fred was wrong because of A, B, C, D, E. And you never know who you're going to help by voicing your perspective. And I'm going to say it again, no profanity on the air.
The Institute for Diversity Certification is all about the 3 Ds: dedication, determination, and discipline. Learn more about our globally recognized diversity certification program today by calling 1-800-983-6192.
Fred is extra.
1-800-983-6192 or visit diversitycertification.org.
Yes.
As the #1 organization for certified
Call in,
diversity
Mimi.
professionals and also certified diversity executive credentials,
I got a space for you, Mimi.
DiversityCertification.org will provide an opportunity for you to demonstrate dedication to the field, determination to make progress, and more discipline to your process. Go today and learn more about the diversity certification system. Call 1-800-983-6192. Again, 1-800-983-6192. Or go to diversitycertification.org. That's diversitycertification.org.
So you know about AM radio and you can't curse.
Diversity and inclusion.
There you go, Mimi. You can't use 1970s dating styles in 2022. Please call in and say that. So many people need to hear that.
Even tiny
Please.
huge water wasters.
Mimi, get on the line, Mimi. Tell Fred, run Fred the riot act.
Drip irrigation, so you water only where it's needed. We can all do our
What up,
part.
Lloyd Hinton?
Visit
We appreciate
SaveOurWater.com
Lloyd
for more
Hinton.
water
Who else
saving
hit that
tips.
super chat?
Save water, save California.
David Scott, what up?
Now might be the perfect time to switch careers. And
Lloyd
become
Hinton,
IT
good
professional
evening.
with My Computer Career.
DeMarco,
IT is listed as one of the top
thank you.
recession-proof
We appreciate
professions.
you guys.
You can have your dream job in just months, not years.
Get in
No
here
experience needed.
and talk to
Classes
me.
online
No
or on
cussing.
campus and financial aid is
No
available to
profanity.
those who qualify, including the GI Bill. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and
Y'all not
take
gonna
the
call?
free
All right,
career
cool.
evaluation. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
At Social Security, we are always thinking of ways to save you time and make things easier. That's why we created My Social Security.
Live
My
at 30.
Social Security account allows you to access your earnings history and benefits information, request a replacement Social Security card, get a proof of income letter, estimate and apply for benefits, and more. Save
She
time.
did hit it
Go
spot
online.
on, and I
Open
want her
My
to
Social
say it.
Security account at ssa.gov/myaccount. Social Security.
What up, Hustle Habit? We love Fred for calling.
Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm so tired of being alone. I'm so tired of being alone. Won't you help me, girl, just as soon as you can? People say that I found a way to make you say that you love me. Yeah, baby, you didn't go for that. It's a natural fact that I wanna come back. Show me where it's at. I'm so tired of being alone. I'm so tired of
Yeah. Al Green. Boy, That's that traditional love music. My playlist is my co-host, of course. And here's the cold part about it. When I was putting my playlist together, I said, who could go against Marvin Gaye? That's young. I was like, but then I started to look around the young cats. There's no Marvin Gaye equivalent. No disrespect to the youngsters. We love the youngsters. No disrespect to the youngsters. But I just, who could we match with Marvin Gaye? My initial thought was Stevie Wonder. But then I said, I already did Stevie Wonder. Somebody said Jaheim. No. No. So then I said, Al Green. We're going to have an Al Green. John Legend. No. No, we can't. Sometimes we're going to do Al Green and Marvin Gaye for our playlist verses tonight. Got a lot of people on the phone right now that want to talk about this. So let's get them in here because we're talking about the differences between traditional relationships. Do young people still want to have a traditional kind of relationship, or do they want this new thing that they've been attributed to creating, a situationship? Basically, no rules. Well, loose rules. How about that? Gen Xers aren't prioritizing romantic relationships. Or if they're open to one, they want it to happen organically, which I'm a proponent of. A majority, 52%, expect to meet their significant other in person instead of via mutual acquaintances. 30% believe they're going to meet somebody on an app. 6%, and this is all according to Goldman Sachs, right? An intern survey. So a lot of these relationships are hard to define, right? They're saying the Gen Xers are basically saying they have iffy kind of feelings about commitment. Kind of iffy. That's why the relationship is hard to define. Is a good relationship one that is defined? Can we go into that? 1-800-920-1580. Do we have to know what it is? Or is not knowing what it is putting you in jeopardy? A lot of relationship experts would say, if you don't know what it is, you wasting your time. That's what a lot of people say. Is that true? If the relationship doesn't have a title, are you wasting your time? I want to know what you think. Let's make it happen right now. We got Chakra. Can I say it right? Chakra Q from Raleigh, North Carolina. Get in here.
Hey, peace and protection to the family. Peace to you, brother. I got to jump in here, and so it's a couple of things I really want to express. And one of those things is on the traditional side, the traditional relationship. I'm currently talking to a young female where she expresses about how her parents, he wants what her parents had, right? And her parents had, they were together since they was 18, and it's like the Huxtables, real life. And so I counteract that and say, you got to understand, put things in context. Your parents grew up in a different world than we grew up in.
Right. Right.
And the next generation is growing up in a different world that we grow up in. And so, but I also understand that you wanting to hold on to that because it built your values. But I gave her my story. My parents didn't grow up that way. They argue all the time, and that became my norm. So you have to, the traditional roles, as you said, have a role that they play. And so my mother, for a long time, because she was playing a traditional role, held all of her issues inside. And then it got to a boiling point where it erupted. And so it became a toxic environment that I grew up in. But I didn't grow up in the suburbs and the Huxtables. So when you're talking about traditionalism, yeah, I understand your argument and that you want to hold on to that, but that's not my reality. So the Gen Xers, in their defense, is they're more open, they're more informed. And I comment in that I'm in that transitional generation where I know how to write cursive. I grew up, you know what I mean? And I also, Right. I also know with the cell phone. I remember when the cell phone was just a green screen, like you was playing Tetris. It looked like a Tetris screen.
Mm-hmm.
And then it came into all this video chatting and all of that type of stuff. And I remember my dad telling me, like, not to get off subject, that the Star Trek stuff, that was stuff we never even imagined would be real, to be able to just talk to somebody and see their face and just click a button and it
Right.
was reality.
Right.
And so what I'm saying is the Gen X, the Gen Zs grow up in a different time. So you can't really, it's like Jordan and LeBron. Like, you can't really compare the two because the rules have changed. They
Right.
moved the goalposts.
Right.
And so for us to take the realization and take all this information into account, yes, do we need to hold on to those traditions? Absolutely. However, we also need to take into account and put things in perspective of everything that we know now that we didn't know then.
So, so wait a minute. Hold on, because I hear what you're saying. So, are you saying that the traditional model needs to be upgraded? There needs to be some recontextualization, some.
Definitely needs to upgrade.
Talk to me about that.
And so the upgrade would be, listen, you don't get to be a king without the ceremony, the announcement, the rituals that it takes for you to be brung into kingdom. Just like you don't get to be a man without the rites of passage that it takes to become a man. So you don't get to just say, oh, we don't need a label. No, if you're man enough to say that you need this woman or whomever your partner is needs to follow you, then you need to take a stand. That's what it is, as far as I was raised, to be a man.
So wait, let me be clear, because you're on a tangent. Let me pull you in just a little bit. So you're saying when you taking a stand is making a commitment.
Is making a commitment.
There we go. Yes.
Okay, so if I make a strong commitment and say, follow me, and a person decides to, you know what, I'm going to follow you, that is a label. You are establishing something together. And so, therefore, to act ambiguous to the relationship is you leaving yourself open to act the entire world, the good and the evil.
Interesting.
And so that's positive and negative energy. But I don't want to keep.
No, you're good. So which generation are you? I like some of the stuff you're saying.
Yeah, I was born in '83.
So that's, what is that?
So
X?
I remember. I think that's X. Is it Y?
Millennial. Oh, you millennial then.
Yeah, so we thought that the world was going in when the clock struck 2000.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
I remember when the people, I'm from New Jersey, really, so I remember when everybody took all them that, put their jumpsuits on.
I remember that.
Not drinking cool, you know what I mean? So
yeah, I remember.
That was many years from Jim Jones. They thought they was hopping on Haley's Comet.
Hail Bop. Hey, stay with me, Chakra Q, because you cooking right now. When we come forward, I think I want to go back to Raleigh, North Carolina. Yeah. Now, that's the kind of conversation I want to have. I don't want no reckless shit.
Higher gas prices meant oil
No
companies
reckless.
made massive profit.
Give me your thoughts. Give me your perspective. No profanity.
Gas is $5.46.
And give me something that make me think. Huh.
Meanwhile, local refiners like Phillips 66 and
I am
report profit increases
a
up to
believer.
1,243%.
I am a believer that there are multiple right answers and multiple wrong answers. I do not believe that there's just one right answer to any question. My brother Chakra Q is dropping science, a very unique perspective. He's not cursing. He's not denigrating or disrespecting anybody.
When you have your baby at MLK Community Hospital, they will
Q is
work hard
cooking.
to make sure you and your family have the experience that you want.
And I'm going to say it the other way too. Sisters, y'all know I wouldn't let sisters come in here and just dog y'all. Brothers, I would call them and hold them accountable too. We got to get out of that childish negative mindset of putting each other down. We got to stop that fuck shit. That's not man shit. That shit annoys me greatly. Somebody invented the internet, and some brilliant nigga said, oh, this is the best place to go to talk shit about the womb I came out of. We gotta stop that shit. Or live chat at Cal. We ain't gonna have no healthy relationships. I promise you. And vice versa. Sisters get on, not all, but there's sisters that get on and talk about the dick they came out of. We gotta stop that shit. Gotta stop that shit.
To serve as chief executive of the city of Los Angeles.
Congratulations, Mary.
That shit is goofy. I see motherfuckers attacking women. I'd be like, nigga, that's some goofy shit.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me on the show. And this is my very first interview, and I am proud that it's here.
We are proud to have you here.
My big mama used to say, you ain't got nothing smart to say or intelligent to say, then don't say nothing. You ain't got nothing nice to say, then shut the fuck up. Don't say nothing.
Every place I went in the community, and I just want the listeners to know that I promise you I won't disappoint.
We both got to put the gun down.
I will never forget where I'm from, and understand that is my primary motivation.
Are they worth the wait?
Holding all leaders accountable to you.
No matter who you voted for, no matter who you are or where you live, I will be a mayor for you.
And I want to hear from the women too. Ladies, y'all can't just sit in the cut all the goddamn time. Call. Share your thoughts. You gonna help somebody.
The voice of reason with Zoe Williams.
Did we lose him?
KBLA Talk 1580.
Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason has returned. Let me just say this, man. Al Green and Marvin Gaye are two heavyweights. But Lord, they both professionals. They're both legends, but Marvin Gaye, Lord, whew. My co-host, my playlist is my co-host. We are featuring Marvin Gaye and the good brother Al Green, and they both swinging for the fences tonight. My brother Chakra Q was on the line, and he was saying some things about this, this shift in relationships, right? Traditional relationships versus Gen Z situationships, and they're totally different in their approach, but he was saying some very good stuff. Chakra, get back in here and talk to me.
It's much love and big ups to all the listeners. And I gotta say this point real quick. Just to my great grandfather and his honor, Hastings Smith. I remember stories hearing this from my grandmother about how he would come home and give my great grandmother Bessie Smith all the money that he made, right? And so that was the traditional way. Now we just switched to the Gen Z where now black women are making more than black men. If you realize what's really going on, it doesn't matter that they changed the goal line if we working together. because we was working together traditionally.
Mm.
And the woman was home taking care of the business, and he brought home the check, and she took care of the bills and took care of everything and gave him a little allowance. It's no different than now. If you're a high value woman and you making more than your man, he's still the man. He's still he's still the king, and so it's like you still gonna take care of everything. It's just that he's gonna put. Go ahead.
But what if this society has changed the definition of king? And now you're not the king, because again, the traditional model says the man is the provider, the protector, right? And if he's not protecting or if he's not providing anymore, does that tarnish his crown? Stay with me, Chakra Q. When we come forward, more from Raleigh, North Carolina. He's cooking.
The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Did you know addiction to drugs, meth, or cocaine is
Jay got it right.
choice? But getting help is. If you have
Jay got it right.
You, your family, and friends may have
I wish I could have a relationship like how my grandparents did, but unfortunately, we live in modern times. Men and women don't think the same way they used to, and that's the key.
CA.org.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Live in a minute. Jade hit it right on the nose.
Stop the violence. Increase the Peace Foundation. It's a non-profit community.
At this point, I just want somebody who's going to love me for who I am and understanding that I'm a working.
Has provided a wide variety of assistance
Yeah.
to thousands of youth, families,
Yeah.
and victims of violence over the past 3 decades, including
Positive Influence said, "What's up, Jay?"
dispute resolution training, grief counseling, and victim
I can't stand you. The chat is hilarious.
Foundation offers an array of classes focused on anger management, domestic violence, parenting, substance abuse, and more. To make a donation or to access services,
Enrico
call
Gates.
323
Me and my child's mother have that traditional relationship. I bring home the bacon and hand her the check. Enrico, you should call in.
This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Did anybody set a benchmark for us today? We're at 29.98.
It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Come on, Al. Like I do. That playlist cold, boy. Al Green and Marvin Gaye. Woo. Come on. What do Gen Z, Generation Z, what do they like in a relationship? Research has shown that Gen Z's attitude towards dating and sex has evolved, right, from the generations before them. They take an exceptionally pragmatic approach to love and sex and subsequently aren't prioritizing establishing committed romantic relationships the same way their older peers once did. Pragmatic to me is just transactional. What am I going to get out of this? Right? That's what the situationship is starting to sound like for Generation Z. Again, we pointed out the flaw in the traditional relationship as given to us by the definition. Traditional relationships are defined as relationships in which partners fulfill roles based upon their gender and stereotypical role expectations. We pointed out the flaw in that. That there's good in that, but there's also flaws in that. Chakra Q, wrap it up. You got 60 seconds.
I'm gonna wrap it up real quick. You gotta understand it's the Kunta Kinte versus the Chicken George. The traditional coming off the boat. Listen, brother, you just got here. This is how we do things now. I understand you come with the history and your kingship and all of that, and then we establish rules here, and we transition from that, not having no religion, to having a religion. We have to grow. It's Darwin, quote unquote, and so we have to evolve. And this is why you're doing God's work. Because shout out to Tavis Smiley, shout out to you, Zoe Williams. It starts at the core. It starts with the family. And what's at the core of the family? The relationships between man, woman, and child. So we have to work on that, and that's what we're doing right now. So at the end of the day, yes, we do have to evolve. If we're going to survive, we got to evolve.
I love it.
And so I'm going to just say that, and I'm going to leave it there.
Thank you, brother. We appreciate the call, man. Good stuff. Yogi Fish, New York. New York, New York. Get Yogi Fish in here. Yogi, we need some wisdom, brother. We need some wisdom.
Well, you just got some good wisdom there. I appreciate the young brother and his outlook on how life is in this world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
yeah.
I hate to say opposites. You know what I mean? Especially following someone who's put a lot into his thought. So let me just preface it by saying I'm over 60, so it's a different generation.
Right.
And I grew up with great-grandparents, grandparents, parents, and different traditions of things. But one of the things they always told me is don't do what we've done. You know what I mean? Do better than what we did.
Ooh, come on, brother. Come on.
The whole traditional thing, I think, gets convoluted, at least in the black culture, that we have a tradition of wanting others to do better than us. So, you know, people say handing down a tradition, they're not trying to hand down the situation, they're trying to hand down value systems that, you know, you apply them any way you can, but keep some values. But your relationship shouldn't be the same as ours because the basis for their relationships was survival.
That's right. Oh, Yogi Fish.
They didn't get to do the loving thing.
Yogi Fish, stay with me, brother. Stay with me.
No.
Hey, because we got to talk about that survival piece. When we come forward, we going back to New York to talk to my good brother Yogi Fish. We still have a lot to talk about. Truemonger, thank you, brother. You took us to $49.98. Truemonger, did you set a benchmark for us today? We appreciate it. Let me shout out everybody that's in the chat. DeMarco Holloway, I'm still coming to you, brother. Chakra Q, you were a great call, man. JT, you on? I see you. JT, Atlanta. We got you. Positive influence. DeMarco Holloway. As soon as we're done with Yogi Fish, I'm going to DeMarco. Then we're going to JT. Vanetta Colbert. Cali Soul. Fred Dorsey. Fred. Third Eye up in here. Davey Lee. Nzinga. He who thinks. Hustle Habit. My brother Jeff Brown popped in here for a second. BKS Too Real. What up?
Season is here, and if peace and quiet is at the top of your
Who else we got in here? Positive Influence. Enrico Gate. Thunderbird. Yeah. Reggie White. Mimi Davis.
Wishes to congratulate Mayor-elect Karen Bass.
Desiree.
To serve as chief executive of the city of Los
Angeles. Got you. Okay. I didn't even see that. Thank you. I love it, man. Take charge and do that shit, man. Thank you, brother. Come on, man. There you go, Truemonger. That's an original thought. That's a leader right there. And then my brother Ronan stepped in. What up? Thank you.
I'm just full of the love that I
love that.
Every place I went in the community, and I just want the listeners to know that I promise.
Of course, we got Yogi Fish,
I will be accessible.
Joyce Hall, aka Truemonger.
That is my primary motivation.
Congratulations,
Regina Harris,
holding all leaders accountable to you.
Desiree, thank you, love. I'm trying to shout out everybody, but it only goes back so far.
Talk 1580, Talk 1580, Talk 1580. And we don't black down. We've got a lot to talk about.
And again, this is a loving environment. Can we get everybody to thank everybody for contributing? Hey man, hey Truemonger, that was beautiful, brother. You challenged them to do what they gotta do. I appreciate that, brother.
Infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait?
I didn't even see that. Truemonger, you could have hit me on Instagram before the show and say I'm gonna do that. Oh man, that was dope.
Daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I was like to kiss you. There's something wrong with that.
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed. Hit you with a bad touch routine. How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses. Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams.
Reason and accountability.
The voice of reason.
So many miles away. Heaven knows that I long for you. Every night, such trips as do the day.
Man, just when you think Al Green is pulling away, Marvin Gaye said, distant lover. Whew. Distant lover. Boy, who you got in my verses? Al Green or Marvin? Man, just when you thought Al Green, that was that Tyson Fury sit-up after getting knocked down. Whoa, jeez. Ladies and gentlemen, you listen to The Voice of Reason. We have an amazing conversation. A lot of people calling in from all over the country to discuss this most pressing issue because we're seeing the world change. We're seeing the world evolve. And when that happens, relationship models start to evolve as well. And we're talking about the traditional model of relationships, which is rooted in gender roles and responsibilities, versus what they're now labeling as Gen Z's creation, the situationship. Now, I remember cohabitationship. I remember relationship. It's complicated. But the question becomes now, is old-fashioned love simply played out? When the world changes, when technology changes the world, how we interact is also going to change, right? Listen, that old school, early to bed, early to rise. Always be true to yourself. Never go to bed angry. You can't take your money with you. That should be for both generations. Some people never change. Trust somebody as far as you can throw them. Remember Big Mama? I don't trust nobody as far as I can throw them. Old school, right? Actions speak louder than words. Neither a borrower nor a lender be. If you have two good friends, you're lucky. The old school was deep, right? The old school was deep. But let me tell you, things are starting to change. Remember you used to dress up for your woman and she used to dress up for you? Remember your woman would never let you see her with her hair messed up. Now, I'm not saying this is something that has to happen today, but you remember that? Huh? Remember compliments? Remember home-cooked meals? Still waters run deep. Yes, I remember that. Home-cooked meals. Every night. We're not at a restaurant somewhere taking pictures of our plate and posting it on social media. When was the last time you seen just social media home-cooked meals posted? You know, this is what I made for the family and my man, right? When was the last time you seen that? And I'm not saying it's women's fault, so I'm just using that as an example. Right? Respect for each other's personal space. You remember the advent of the cell phone. Now people act weird with their cell phones. Let me put my cell phone face down so you don't see it ring. The ringer is off when I'm in your presence, and then I put it face down so you don't see it ring. Well, back in the day, I remember Big Mama used to say, when Granddaddy get home, don't nobody mess with him. Granddaddy need about an hour. I'm going to give him his food. I'm going to give him the paper. He going to sit back in that room. He going to watch the news or the game or whatever. But don't go bother him until he done settled into the house. That was Big Mama respecting. Well, we didn't have Granddaddy. We had Goldie. My cousin Craig. Craig, remember Goldie? Big Mama's boyfriend. Big Mama had a boyfriend that was older than her, and she was old. His name was Goldie. Sit on the back porch. She made sure he got his plate before we got ours. Talk to me. Is the traditional way done? Or do we have to get used to this newfangled gray area, uncertainty? I don't know what we're doing. Is that all a bad thing? I want to know. The phone lines are on fire. I'm going to go back to my brother, Yogi Fish, because he was cooking. I wanted to reframe the topic so we could understand what we're getting into when we come forward back to New York.
The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings will disappear.
Hey!
Listen to the voice of reason.
What happened to Yogi? Yogi.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years. Proudly serving the
You at work, JT, so I understand. Where's Yogi? Yogi. Call back, Yogi. It dropped you. Call back, Yogi.
Looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business.
Call back, Yogi. We need you.
You can participate by suggesting.
And JT, I know you at work, so I understand.
Community share Facebook group page or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828.
And I appreciate each and every one of you guys. You guys are in here. Y'all hitting the super chat. You're supporting the show. We appreciate all of y'all. Nothing but love. Yogi is back.
Hey, Dad,
We got
how
him.
do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
We got it. We got Yogi.
About everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can.
Jade, we understand, baby boo. You at the job site.
Safe gun storage saves lives.
We don't have no crazy expectations for you, honey.
That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580.
What's our time?
To congratulate Mayor-elect Karen Bass on
Andy,
historic
what's our time?
as the first woman and only second
1 minute.
African American to serve as chief executive of the city of Los Angeles.
Congratulations, Mary-elect Bass, and welcome back to Unapologetically Progressive KBLA Talk 1580.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me on the show. And this is my very first interview, and I'm proud that it's here.
We are proud to have you here. What do you want to say to the listeners of KBLA Talk 1580?
I want to say thank you from just, I'm just full of the love that I felt every place I went in the community. And I just want the listeners to know that I promise you I won't disappoint you. I will be accessible. I will never forget where I'm from.
No, David, you could call in and rep for the millennials.
Congratulations, Mayor-elect Karen Bass, holding all leaders accountable to you.
No matter who you voted for, no matter who you are or where you live, I will be a mayor for you.
With KBLA Talk 1580, Talk 1580, Talk 1580. And we don't back down. You got a lot to talk about. You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Oh, Lord. Come on in here, Green. Mr. Green. Come on in here, Al. Sing it to her, Al.
I can think of plenty days for my life was everything a man could want to do. I could never see tomorrow. I was never told.
Okay, I think it's a tie tonight. Al Green and Marvin Gaye. Woo! How can you mend a broken heart? The voice of reason is on fire tonight. We got an amazing topic. The phone lines are lit. Let me get my brother Yogi Fish in here, man. Yogi Fish.
Hey, Joe.
So you see how I'm framing this topic, right? Do you see how I'm?
Yeah.
Yes. So as a brother, I see you as an elder. So I defer to your knowledge because my experience cannot compare to yours. So.
Oh, yes, it can.
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. So I'm so pleased that you're here. Can you continue to expound on these shifting relationship models and how they kind of changed through the generations? Like, just talk to me, man. What was it like being with a woman in your time, like at the height of your time, your 30s, your 40s, man, your 50s? Talk to me.
It was very confusing.
Mm.
It's very confusing because the world, like when you talk about traditions, they're shaped by the social norms. You know, so if your social norms are full of war, you're going to be closer as a family. If your social norms are surrounded by drug problems and crimes, you're going to be, you know, very tense all the time. Your relationship's not going to be able to relax because you're surrounded by the potential of harm to your family. So you're going to be an aggressive type man in that relationship. So there's a lot of things that go on. So I was in the military at a certain point, so that affects relationships. You know, the social environment that, you know, we as black people go through shapes those relationships type things. So it's a lot of things, but, you know, in my 30s, it was confusing because we were at that bridge of, hey, we're black, we can do better, and we're getting opportunities. And that bridge between, hey, here's how we are as black people versus the shift, some people didn't want to hold on to how we
did things one way, and they want to move into the new world
So,
of things.
but
The relationships start falling apart like that.
So how did technology affect your relationship? Was it impacted when technology started to boom? Did it impact how you interacted with women? Talk to me.
Yeah, it does, because I'm a technology person, so I understood the technology making it. But when people use it, they may, I don't know how to say it, they may think different, but they're not living different. They're just thinking different. And so when you're relating to someone who's thinking different in the environment you're in together, that's very confusing. You know, you're getting exposed to things that you're not experiencing, but you think you are. You know, like today, people feel things based on online activity versus a physical human being they're dealing with. And so they feel emotions from a distance and then try to duplicate that with someone down the street, and it doesn't match up.
Wow.
You know, online you get to talk and say what you want, but you may not be able to do that to the person that's around you. So you're out of sync with the people that you're actually dealing with, type thing. And that's the part about value systems, that you can translate values down generations, but you can't translate the physical environment and the relationship that you're physically in.
Right.
But you can say, hey, you know, the traditions I got, the values were, you can do anything. You know, don't let anybody tell you what to do or that you can't do something. And that's something that I've held on to that came from each generation of people. You know, especially the men, they were like, hey, son, you put your mind into it, you can do it.
Right.
You know, and they actually did big things. So I could see them doing that. It wasn't just a phrase. So I think the young people today just are missing that little piece of value system. But their lifestyle is basically their own. I can't really tell them what to do with that, but I think they're missing the value system piece that was supposed to be passed down, but maybe got lost along the way.
Man, I love you, brother, man. Thank you for the wisdom, the insight, the perspective.
Great subject.
Thank you, brother. Yogi Fish from New York, man. If you want to bring your city in the building, you know what you got to do. Hit those digits, 1-800-920-1580. Let me get to my brother DeMarco. He's been on the longest. Sorry, DeMarco. Las Vegas, Nevada in the building. Talk to me, brother.
Hey, what's going on, man? Man, just really wanted to say, I think we're all looking for the same thing. And then, you know, although, I mean, just like transportation, you know, we're still trying to get from point A to point B. You know, it could be planes this decade or this century. You know, trains and automobiles this century, and horse and carriage another century. But we're all looking for the same thing.
And what generation do you represent, brother?
Man, I was born in '80, so I'm right in between. You know, I technically I'm part of the newer generation, but I'm still part of the generation that didn't really care for computers too much, even though I'm in IT right now. But you know.
Wow. That's heavy. What would that? I think he would be. He was born in '80. So what's that? A millennial? That's not a Gen Xer. That's an Xer, buddy. Yeah, you're an Xer. Yeah. You're tail end of the Xers going into, what is that? Millennials. Yeah, you're like in the middle of. You're like an X-Men millennial, right in that little.
Yeah.
But that's cool, man. Let me just say, when you call in and we talk about these kind of subjects, my question to you is, when you date a woman, are you trying to be a traditional man, or are you more in alignment with the gray area that situationships bring and are cool with? Do you leave it flowy and open? Do you need a title? Or are you more traditional, say, if we're going to do this and I'm going to be down for you, I'm going to lock it down for you, this is what it's going to be? Talk to me.
No, I'm a gray area person all the way. At work, personal life, you know, everything. Nothing needs to really be defined, because we all know what it is. But just operate into more so focused on who I am and who you are, and then we'll figure out the rest. Doesn't necessarily have to be a title. Could be a title, but doesn't necessarily have to be.
All right, it sound good to me. Hey, the gray areas are starting to call in. Hey, DeMarco, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for hanging on the line. Las Vegas is in the building because of you. We appreciate you, brother. Call in anytime.
All right, thanks, family.
Hey, but that was interesting what he said. That was interesting. I'm a gray area kind of dude. Technology has pushed us into this space because of options. Listen, man, technology made the world small, right? I remember there was a time, boy, some of the most beautiful women in the world came out of Pasadena, California. Before the internet was around. Beautiful women. And all, man, just beautiful women. Jeez. But then came MySpace. Was MySpace the first social media? What was before MySpace? Black Planet. Boy, I was never on Black Planet. I think I caught on to Black Planet late, and I never really got on. The first social media that I got on was MySpace.
Actually, to be technical, was the chat rooms.
That's what they just said. Yahoo chat room.
Yep, Yahoo chat room, AOL chat rooms, all that.
Heru Ali said, Jet Magazine Beauty of the Week. But once those platforms started to take off, it made our world expand or contract even. I mean, he started meeting people from all over the world. Beautiful women, beautiful people from all over the world. Somebody said party line, AOL chat. Sister in the chat room said I was all over Yahoo chat rooms, then moved on to others. So again, MySpace was the first one for me. When I got on MySpace, I was like, what in the entire hell is going on? Then Facebook took to another level. So I feel like options and access, it grays things up a little bit. Whereas if you from a small town and that's all you know, you try to find the best little woman you can find in that area. And that's just from a male's perspective. Lord have mercy, I can't even imagine the inundation that women are experiencing in their DMs. Ladies, can you call me and tell me if y'all hired a personal assistant to just go through your DMs? Because I know it's bananas. 1-800-920-1580. Phone lines are still cracking. Let's get everybody in here right now. Cali Soul, Denver, Colorado. Talk to us.
Peace, family.
Tell me, are you old school or are you new school when it comes to relationship models?
I'm right in between. I'm the gray area. So I'm a Gen X millennial. I was born in 81. And I think the main thing is like the shift in media. And our parents, you know, in Gen X, they didn't really allow us to be raised by media. And there wasn't as much media options as there are today. But still, within that, we were watching shows like The Cosby Show, The Jeffersons, Good Times, and even those families were nuanced and they had their difficulties and their successes. We got to witness that. We got to witness them go through adversities together and push through. So, like, the generation right behind us was the millennials and Gen Z and all of that. Like, they're watching social media and reality TV. And we all know who creates that junk and what their agenda is. It's like to break up the black family. And if people are sitting there watching that stuff, and that's the microwave generation. Like, the microwaves first came out in, like, my generation. We was like, whoa, microwaves. We didn't even have one in the house for a few years. I remember us, like, begging my mother to get a microwave, you know, and then finally one made its way into the house. But, like, before that, we were eating home-cooked meals. And even, like, the folks of us that were latchkey kids, Mom would, like, prep up the food, you know, the night before. And it's like, hey, when you get home from school, you put that meatloaf in the oven, you know, turn on the, you know, like, she had to give us the basics because we were an essential part of how the family moved as well. We were held to a standard of that. You know, we had to watch after our younger siblings. And that was normal, so we had more responsibility. So therefore, like, fast forward to today, to our relationships, some folks are willing to put in a little bit more work because we were raised putting in work. We didn't have no choice.
This is interesting.
Whereas,
this is interesting because you're cooking right now. And I really want you to open up a little bit about, would you accept a traditional man and the gender role that he has expectations for? Like you're his woman, he expects you to, bend the knee, so to speak. Would you take a traditional man? Now, you said you were the gray area, but would you take a traditional man?
I would absolutely take the traditional man. And when I say I'm in the gray area, I don't necessarily need a label. Like, I'm here to learn whatever I'm supposed to learn from you and give whatever I'm supposed to give to you. So you might not be my life partner, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to enjoy each other and grow together, so why not dive in? And I think a lot of people are afraid to dive in because they're like, yo, if this ain't my life partner, if this ain't my husband, then I'm wasting my time. And that's not true, because we've got to learn, we've got to grow, we've got to evolve. And like I said, for me, before, I had to have a starter marriage because I didn't grow up seeing a healthy relationship within my home.
Do you know you just scared all the men that have a traditional mindset? Because what you basically said was, it's not guaranteed that I'm going to be there.
But so, people got to get off of that.
But people are afraid. People are afraid. Yeah. Most relationships are fear-based. Did you hear the definition I read for traditional relationships?
No.
The definition in and of itself, I said, here's the caveat for that. Here's the definition of a traditional relationships. I ain't gonna give up nothing. I'm gonna let you tell me what it is. Traditional relationships are defined as relationships in which partners fulfill roles based upon their gender and stereotypical role expectations. That's the definition of traditional relationship. Gender roles.
I don't. I don't see anything wrong with that. I think women are to do what women are to do. Women are to bring what we bring to the table, and men are to do what they do and bring what they bring to the table. That's how you coexist in a relationship.
Cali Soul, stay with me. When we come forward, we going back to Denver because we cooking right now. The ladies are calling. It's getting heated. We got a lot to talk about. I love everybody in here. I love every one of y'all. I love each and every one of y'all, man. All of y'all mean the world to me, man.
He's on fire tonight. It's the voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Mike Island.
I guess I'm a hybrid as much as I hate the gray hair.
Airports across the U.S. are
I appreciate y'all, man. I really do.
Thanksgiving travel season will be the third largest for travel in the last 20 years. The White House is extending the student loan repayment pause.
You can't be any part of non-traditional. Talking about you want a traditional person. AKA said I'm a hybrid too. Did we lose somebody?
Donations to a
Who do we
charity
lose?
fund that will be distributed to victims of a mass shooting in Colorado Springs.
Whoever we lost, get back in here.
Colorado Healing Fund has set aside a portion of its website to take donations that will go to the families of those
Yogi Fish, you're a boomer.
And that's the latest. I'm Mike Island from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
The holiday season is here, and if peace
Somebody said that Al Green is popping tonight.
You'll love Casper's selection of mattresses. Save up to $800 online or at a participating store near you. Exclusions apply. See Casper.com/promo.
I'm Gen X too.
KBLA Talk 1580 wishes to congratulate When, as the first woman and only second African American to serve as chief executive of the city of Los Angeles.
Congratulations, Mary-elect Bass, and welcome back to Unapologetically Progressive KBLA Talk 1580.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me on the show. And this is my very first interview, and I'm proud that it's here.
We are proud to have you here. What do you want to say to the listeners of KBLA Talk 1580?
I want to say thank you from just, I'm just full of the love that I felt every place I went in the community. And I just want the listeners to know that I promise you I won't disappoint you. I will be accessible. I will never forget where I'm from, and understand that is my primary motivation.
Congratulations, Mayor-elect Karen Bass, holding all leaders accountable to you.
No matter who you voted for, no matter who you are or where you live, I will be a mayor for you.
With KBLA Talk 1580, Talk 1580, Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Black down. Oh, we still got time.
Who goes to bat for you is crucial.
We still got time. Aaron Wilson, what up? Reggie White. Help me, Mr. Kirkland, help me say it right.
Call the pros at MVP Accident Attorneys at 833-MVP-WINS for a free case review. Call 833-MVP-WINS.
Call on me, your MVP.
The Institute for Diversity Certification is all about the 3 Ds: dedication, determination, and discipline. Learn more about
I'm looking at my computer. I really should
diversity
just turn it this
certification
way.
program today by calling 1-800-983-6192.
Nzinga! Thank you, Nzinga. We appreciate you.
As the #1 organization for certified
we are at 139.96. We appreciate you guys.
DiversityCertification.org will provide an opportunity for you to demonstrate dedication to the field, determination to make progress, and more discipline to your process. Go today.
Now, JT, I think we got 2 minutes before we come back. So hopefully you can hang on. Soon as we come back, JT, Jade, I'm coming to you.
That's DiversityCertification.org. The standard of excellence.
Everybody show Nzinga some love. Everybody show everybody some love. Wyland Kirkland, thank you, brother. Oh, man, cue it up. Keep the lessons. Come on, y'all. Thank you.
Or a half of a domino.
Man, that just pushed us, man. That just pushed us. We're at 164.95, man. Y'all special tonight.
With your vaccines and boosters. Visit myturn.ca.gov to find one near you.
Honors. I love that term, Heru. Honors to everybody. Honors.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you.
JT, are you here? Jay, let me know you here, because as soon as we come back, I'm going to talk to you.
Focused on reducing bias and injustices while leveling the playing field. LA Civil Rights does this through equity and empowerment. The Office of Racial Equity.
No, I do, man. I love all of y'all. Listen, I don't have to agree with everybody. I don't have to like what everybody says. I love my people just cuz. That's just what the fuck it is. We're not monolithic. We're not all gonna think the same. We're not all gonna believe the same. You know? But it's all love. From me, it's all love.
The Civil Rights Department believes that the goals of equity and inclusion for all people
it is all love. So look, we gonna rap Cali Soul. JT better be ready.
Visit civilandhumanrights.lacity.org. That's civilandhumanrights.lacity.org or call 213-978-1845. This
we are
is
because
a
we
community
are.
call to
Love
action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
There's far too many of you now. You know we've got to find to bring some love here today. Man, we don't need to escalate. Brother Marvin, my playlist is my co-host. Beautiful playlist tonight, man. Cali Soul from Denver was making her final thoughts. Yeah, go on, sing with him. Yeah. Marvin and Al Green, Lord have mercy, man. What is going? Okay, so wrap it up for us. Wrap it up for us. Tell us which is the best model, or is your model the best model for relationships? Talk to me.
I can't say my model is the best model for relationships because I'm still learning, even at this age. What's that saying? Everybody was having fun until the rabbit got the gun.
Oh, Lord.
I remember the brother Jadena was, really pubbing hard for polygamy and all of this stuff until he got his heart broken, and then he realized, no, I do actually want to be in a monogamous relationship. So I said that to say I can't say that I don't want to be in a monogamous relationship. I absolutely do want to be in a monogamous relationship. However, I know that my path, my road to get there, I can let go of my idea of what that looks like. So that's why I say I don't need a label in a, whatever I experience today in dating, because as we move along, we learn things and we grow, and that's what we're here for. And people have to learn how to let go of their fear and that idea that just because somebody is with you, they belong to you and they become one of your possessions, because that's just not the truth. And that mentality is what makes people want to run the other way. So you've got to be willing to extend freedom, appreciation, truth, sincerity. Those are the characteristics of love. It don't matter what ship you want to put on it. Friendship, relationship, whatever ship you get into, you better have love. And love is freedom, appreciation, truth, sincerity.
Come on. Sweetheart, I appreciate every time you call in. You bring a whole different, it's like a little rainforest when she calls in. It's like one of them little humidifiers. It just gets misty up in here. We appreciate your wisdom, sister. Thank you so much. Thank you. You want to bring your city in the building? All you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. JT, Atlanta, Georgia. Get in here, Jade.
Oh, hold on, because I know I'm not supposed to be no Bluetooth, no headset. Hold on, real quick.
You calling from work? What happened?
I know. No, I'm saying, because I know when you call in, you're not supposed to be on Bluetooth or headset, so I just took my headset off.
That's right.
First of all, I just want to say hey to the chat. I love everybody. Happy Thanksgiving and holidays that are getting ready to come up. I hope everyone enjoys their time.
Yes.
I said in the chat, I would love to have a relationship like my grandparents did, but unfortunately, we live in a different time of relationships and how people think, and also who people think they are. Because you got some people out here who think that they're high value, but they're really not.
Talk to me. Come on.
But I guess I just wanted to say, for me, I know, with me dating and talking to different gentlemen, I do try to tell them what it is that I expect out of a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of does sound a little bit more traditional, but, I don't mind to take my boyfriend out to eat and pay. I don't mind to buy him gifts. I don't mind to, spoil him and do things for him. So, it'll have, a modern twist on it. But, your relationship is your relationship. If you wanted to have a traditional aspect to it, then go ahead and do it. But if you want to have a different or a newer spin on it, if it works for you, it works for you. But you just have to find whatever's going to work for your relationship. You can't let this outside world stuff. Oh, sorry, I lost my breath. You can't let this outside world stuff determine or dictate your happiness or how you want your relationship to go. You and that person need to sit down, have a grown-up conversation, and work towards the things that you're looking for. I love you guys. Have a great day. I got to get back to work.
They calling in from work, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to join the discussion, no judgment. We are having an open forum discussion. Traditional relationships versus what they're calling situationships. What are we doing? What are we doing? I remember back then. What are we doing? Where is this thing going? Apparently, where's this thing going is in vogue. Truemonger, Dallas, Texas. Jump in here and speak on it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, brother.
I'm another ex-man myself. When I was a kid, I don't think I ever really saw a healthy relationship. The ones that I only saw were quote-unquote on TV, and they were scripted that way. It also depends on what a person is going to consider traditional, because some people think marriage is traditional. Some people also think just having wedlock babies is traditional, because I was one of them. Never really saw in my immediate family what a traditional relationship was. My parents did get married until later on in life. I was like a teenager when they finally decided to get married. Saw a lot of broken. My old man came from a broken home. My mom came from a broken home where her siblings had different fathers. So it's always a learning process. Some people trying to go by a script. Say my woman has to be like this or one man has to be like that. Well, we're all going through life still learning. You're going to come across different people with different backgrounds and experiences. And to try to force your way onto them without really learning where they came from, that's just going to end in disaster, in my opinion. Best thing for me, because I'm still learning, I'm still taking what I can use from past experiences and trying to build. And I'm going to come across people who may not necessarily agree with what I think is cool, and vice versa, and that's okay. I'm just going to, if we work together, cool. If it reaches this point, I'm cool with that too. I'm not really stressing about it.
Wow. I love the honesty, the transparency. I appreciate you, brother. And as always, man, thank you for hanging on the line and holding on and waiting until I could get you in there, man. I appreciate you, brother. Call in anytime. You already know it.
Yes, sir.
So let me get right down to it. It don't matter how you define your relationships. Situationship or traditional relationship. I pointed out the flaw in both. Right? Can I say something right quick? You tell me if this makes sense. The quality of your spirit determines the success of your relationship. What you've overcome internally, the work you've put in to build yourself up, to redefine yourself from what you've modeled, to separate yourself from what you've modeled, will determine the success rate of your relationships. It doesn't matter what you call it. When you look at marriages, 44% divorce rate. You throw in the 10 to 12% legal separations, we're well over 50%. So that's not a model that's guaranteed to work. Most people, just listen, man. You're in a toxic society. Most people are toxic. So you're going to go into the relationship toxic. So that toxicity is going to, you're going to create a what I call this synergy, this cycle, right? You're going to create a cycle of passing that toxicity to your partner back and forth. You want any relationship model to work, you have to first start with self. Stepdaddy Johnson said, I'm not toxic, Zoe. There's not a person on planet Earth that ain't got something to work on internally. This is why the great Krishnamurti said, self-knowledge is never ending. That's right. Septic synergy. Thank you, Book of Ronan. A lot of people, man, it's toxic to even think you're not toxic. There's something wrong with everybody. Everybody has challenges. Maybe you don't like the word toxic, but everybody got challenges. And the more challenges you defeat, you overcome within yourself, the higher the quality of your spirit. The higher the quality of your spirit, the higher the quality of the relationship you magnetize into your sphere. Listen, man, the weakness of the traditional relationship, it's gender role based. It said nothing about how to overcome you. It said nothing about how to deal with the inner enemy within you. Doesn't say nothing about it. That's why I said that is the Achilles heel of the traditional model. Because it says as long as I fulfill my gender role, then the relationship gets to continue to roll. And that's what our grandparents stayed in. That's why Big Mama and Big Daddy stayed in 2 separate rooms in them little twin beds. Right? Big Daddy paid the bills, Big Mama cooked the meals. But they slept in 2 separate rooms. Couldn't stand each other. The traditional model doesn't allow for healing. Or at least it doesn't articulate it. Now, I'm going to say this. The quality of your spirit determines the success rate of your relationship. So you got good-spirited people, regardless of what's going on in the world, these people are going to be in love with each other because their spirit's right. Do you understand? They're not judging, they're not condemning, they're empathetic, they're pouring into themselves and they're pouring into their partner. They're making space for self and they're making space for spouses. But a lot of people aren't doing that. I keep telling everybody who tunes into the show, the basic fundamental purpose of relationship is to discover what's wrong with you. When I come forward, Zoe Williams is going to keep cooking.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
Tweets with racial slurs have soared since Elon Musk took over Twitter.
What up, Mimi Blossoms?
Your K-Black Minute News. Only a week after the Tesla CEO bought Twitter.
What up, y'all? Everybody in here. What's happening?
Used 26,000 times, tripling its average this year. And a slur used to target trans people increased by 53%. Instances of offensive terms for homosexual men soared 39% over the yearly average. Examples of offensive terms used to target
the guys know it's a buyer's market. Yes, if you're a relationship broker, absolutely.
Digital hate. KBLA listeners, what do you think about Elon Musk, the man who describes himself as a free speech absolutist taking over Twitter? Let us know by tweeting us at KBLA 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Congratulations to this week's KBLA Talk 1580's Office of the Week, Community Legal Aid SoCal, Advocates for Justice in Orange and Los Angeles counties. Congratulations, Community Legal Aid SoCal.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that when we fight, we win. Community Coalition trains activists and organizers in order to support power building with Black, Brown, Indigenous, and people of color. Community Coalition works to help transform the social and economic conditions in South LA that foster addiction, crime, violence, and poverty.
Live in a minute.
Building a community institution that involves thousands in creating, influencing, and changing public policy. Founded by Karen Bass in 1990, Community Coalition was born as an African American and Latino organization with the goal of turning hopelessness and despair into action. The activism of the Community Coalition's members and community residents has almost solely stimulated economic recovery in South LA for decades, generating billions of dollars by redirecting them to South LA schools and foster care. In addition, Community Coalition offers amazing mind, body, soul resources, advocacy, and policy work, and has a robust and active membership body. To become a member, get a referral, or get support for your nonprofit, visit cocosouthla.org. That's cocosouthla.org, or call 323-750-9087. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
My playlist is out of control tonight. My goodness, man. I thought it was going to be much. I thought Marvin Gaye was going to blow him out the water. But boy, Al is hotter than grits right now. Lord have mercy. So let's get back to it. Traditional relationship versus Gen Z situationships. For months, I've been holding back from letting the talking points go from my current book, the book that I'm writing right now. I really didn't want to, get into the talking points. I didn't want to reveal the narrative. So I've been struggling to keep it in. And, I've been talking around it, so to speak. But I hinted to it in, or a prelude to my new work, can be found in my 2019 release, The Holographic Relationship, when I talk about relationship uncertainty. And I use Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. That principle says that two aspects of a particle that's being observed cannot be known simultaneously. Meaning, if I want to know the location of an electron, I can know that. But I can't know the location as well as the momentum. I have to choose. If I want to know the momentum, I can find out the momentum. But I can't know the location. If I want to know the location, I can find out the location, but I can't find the momentum. That's the Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. And the way my mind works, I said, well, science, especially physics, deals with the physical world, nature. I also believe that the uncertainty principle is embedded in intimate relationships. We think that if we create expectations and standards and beliefs and principles, that we'll be able to create this box we can live in safely. But two works in progress are also unknown. Two works in progress are also uncertain as to who and what they are. Maybe the Gen Zs got that by embracing a gray area, or what Heisenberg would call an uncertainty space. What I recognize with the traditional love, man, we stuck we stuck with each other. That's what I saw. People stuck with each other, even though they were toxic. That's what you get when you just focus on roles. But the roles was based on the family. The family is a business. Dad went out, got his money, paid for everything, brought home the bacon, she cooked it up. But the world is different now. And those old norms are starting to shift. But let me tell you how to throw all of that away. The great Krishnamurti says, love comes into being when the mind is naturally quiet. Big Daddy couldn't be quiet because the world was attacking him. When he came home, his woman made peace for him. The world attacked him when he was out. He was in the world, so the world attacked him. It's hard to find love when you haven't conquered yourself, right? But when you can play a role, you can just hide. Krishnamurti, love comes into being when the mind is naturally quiet, not made quiet. When it sees false as false and true as true. When the mind is quiet, then whatever happens is the action of love. It is not the action of knowledge. Knowledge is mere experience, and experience is not love. Experience cannot know love. Love comes into being when we understand the total process of ourselves. And the understanding of ourselves is the beginning of wisdom. Most people are exceedingly unwise when they go into a relationship. You are unwise to think that somebody will make you happy. You are unwise to create standards and beliefs and principles and rules and strategies for some work in progress to fit into seamlessly. You are unwise. You are unwise. Love is something totally new every day. It is not a routine. It is not a gender role. Love is something totally new every day, but pleasure is not. Pleasure has continuity. Love is always new, and therefore it is its own eternity. Jiddu Krishnamurti. You want a real relationship with self? You're going to have to conquer. Or you want a real relationship with someone else, you're going to have to conquer self. Maybe the Gen Zers are starting to understand a few things. Well, I started the conversation. I'm probably 97% wrong about everything I said. Woo, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Stay tuned for Danny Morrison and, of course, Robin Ayers. They're going to keep it cooking. The fire has been lit. I'll see y'all tomorrow, but that'll be it for the rest of the week. Love y'all. Great show. Appreciate y'all. Thank you. Thank you to every single one of y'all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Santa Monica.
Now I got to go.
I'm Mike Island, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network.
We cooked tonight.
Across the US are jammed.
Peace to everybody who showed love. Peace to everybody who shared a little piece of change. We thank you. Love, 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 love. Deuces.